Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. So I've been wanting to make a video on firearm stuff for a couple of years. I'm not really into firearms a whole bunch. You know, I got some friends that have firearms and that. I tend to be more of an archery guy. So had to borrow some stuff here to make this video. Now I do get out and shoot some. I usually will pay for the ammo and things like that. But basically this video is going to be comparing 12 gauge and 20 gauge. Okay, and I'm just going to throw some stuff out there. You don't have to agree with it. I have experience with all these rounds, and so you can like what I say and adopt it, or you can dislike it and find your own thing, and that's cool too. It's America. You are free to do those things. Now, what we have here, we got 45 ACP, 7.62 by 39. Here is our 20 gauge, and here is our 12 gauge. Okay. Now, first time I ever shot a 12 gauge, I was in the Marine Corps. I shot it out of an old Mossberg, like a Vietnam era Mossberg, I believe. And then I shot it out of the Benelli M4, which on the civilian market, I believe it's called the 1014 or something like that. I could be wrong. I could have that flip flopped, but it's basically Benelli's tactical shotgun that's semi-auto. I was very impressed with how that Benelli handled. Okay. And then, of course, when I got out of the Marines, I got some experience with the 20 gauge. Now, my preferred round for shotgun, I'm going to go ahead and say it is actually 20 gauge, and here's why. Your 20 gauge round, okay, according to some people who are actually reputable on here on YouTube, is twice as powerful as a 44 Magnum, okay? Now, I have shot some larger caliber pistol rounds, and what I've seen that do and what I've seen a 12 gauge do, the 12 gauge is more, and the 20 is not far behind. Now, I have noticed this when I go out and I buy shotgun rounds in bulk to go have fun with my friends or whatever. When I buy 100 rounds of the 12, it weighs a noticeable amount more than the 20, okay? So, the way I look at firearm stuff is generally through a tactical / survival mindset. I want the most bang for my buck, and I want it to weigh as little as possible, okay? So if I'm going to be running a shotgun, which I really like because they're simple, the malfunctions are not always as catastrophic as they are with other firearms as long as you're using a pump gun. I generally prefer this round right here. The other cool thing about it is that if for some reason my son needs to use a shotgun, he can actually handle that 20 gauge. My daughter can handle that 20 gauge. I have seen 5-year-olds shoot a 20 gauge. I'm not saying it's optimal. I'm not saying you should let them do it all the time. And I'm not trying to promote that. I'm just saying I have seen it. I have seen a 5-year-old hold down a 20 gauge shotgun. Okay. I have not seen a 5-year-old hold down a 12 gauge shotgun that was pump action. Okay. So to me, for the things that I like to use them for my applications in my realm, I feel that the 20 gauge is optimal. Now, one of the really cool things about a shotgun, and you can find this, I believe, in both, is that you have different kinds of loads. You've got game loads, okay? You've got, let me see here, target loads. Some of them are pretty close or the same. You have buckshot. You've got slugs. I think there's another one called the Sabot that you can get for them. And I don't find them as much in the 20. I find them all the time for the 12. So that is one kind of downfall. I do believe they're available, but they're hard to find. Okay. So I tend to like to go with the 20. Another thing I've noticed is that you can get a youth model 20 gauge, and it's pretty much a tactical length right there. If you got that little bead on the sight, like I know someone who's got a 870 youth model 20 gauge, and the barrel is a legal length, but the whole system is smaller than a lot of the 12 gauge shotgun systems out there, and that makes it in its own way somewhat more tactical because you can turn corners with it easier. It's smaller, it weighs less, things like that. Okay. So I prefer the 20. Does the 12 do more damage? Yes. But here's the deal, okay? Let's imagine, you can pick anyone in the world to punch a bad guy, okay? And you decide, hey, I'm going to pick Mike Tyson, okay? And I have Mike Tyson punch someone. And then you say, I'm going to have Mike Tyson on steroids punch someone. Either way, you've got Mike Tyson punching someone. They're going down, okay? And that's kind of the way I look at a shotgun load. This right here is Mike Tyson punching someone. This right here is Mike Tyson on steroids punching someone, all right? They're both going to drop probably whatever you're shooting them with. I don't know anything out there that's going to be happy after you shot it with a 12 or a 20 gauge. Pretty much they kill what they shoot, okay? So, I don't want to say necessarily this is a versus, a 20 versus 12. In a way it kind of is. It definitely is a comparison. This is my input on it. Let me readjust here. But I like this round a lot, okay? You can carry more. You can store more, in a smaller amount of space. It does the job. It doesn't pack as big of a wallop, but it packs enough of a wallop that pretty much whatever you're shooting it at, it's gonna drop, okay? So yeah. And it's actually cheap to shoot, okay? This is getting up there, having to shoot. It is still one of the cheaper rounds, but it costs a lot. This is expensive. It's very hard if I want to find someone with a 45 and I say, hey, I'll buy ammo for it. If I want to have a decent time, I'm looking at over $100. This I can get away with under $100. This $20 to $40, I can go out, shoot, for an hour or two. It's not breaking the bank, and I can get that practice in. Shot placement and practice to me is more important than the caliber size. And so I feel that's another advantage of the 20. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment, feel free to leave some advice or some of your own experiences. Please keep it clean, please keep it kind. Like I said, you don't have to agree. I'm not here trashing anyone's favorite caliber or anyone's favorite shotgun or anything like that. Hey, as long as it works for you, I'm happy for you. But in my experience, for me, for the applications I would need it for, if I was going to buy a shotgun, I would go with the 20. It's something a kid can handle, responsibly with a responsible adult nearby, or an emergency. Smaller statured women can handle it a little more than the 12, and it's cheap enough to practice with. So that's my thoughts on it. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.